Fuck you for making me talk about this, but fine. I do what the people desire. This is democracy, not always. But today it's a democracy. So, not without great sacrifice. Datamined Dragonflight Dialogue reveals Ysera's price. Toward the conclusion of Shadowlands, Ysera admits that although she has been fully revived, she was bound to Ardenweald and unable to leave without great sacrifice. Although Tyrande quickly offered to pay it, the dreamer declined, mysteriously expressing that she would return if Elune willed it. In the latest alpha build, however, Datamined Dialogue reveals that sacrifice has a name. I will hold off giving an opinion on this till we've read it all. Datamined Dialogue. Our previous article explored the potential involvement of Elune. Oh, whoops. And two distinctly named weapon models gave us our first hint that Ysera might return in Dragonflight, though the how remained unclear. In our follow-up, a now removed spell more explicitly confirmed her return through the use of the Globe of Rebirth, though still lacking context. This week's build doesn't fully confirm if the dreamer will return to Azeroth or how she will manifest herself, but it does give us a good idea of how. Please keep in mind, however, this is Datamined Dialogue, which may be incomplete or subject to change. Tyrande. Ysera, your flight needs you. We need you. Whatever the price may be for your return to Azeroth, name it. Malfurion says, Tyrande. Tyrande says, tell us, still talking to Ysera. Malfurion says, it's me. I must be the one to stay. Tyrande says, what? What? And Malfurion says, Ysera knows this, though she would never ask it of me. Tyrande says, no, we will find another way. Malfurion says, when she gave her life for mine in Val'sharah, it was not her time, and now the balance may be restored. And then Tyrande says, then I will stay as well. Chandris and the others can. Tyrande, should everything we hope come to pass, the Kaldorei will need you. I am so tired, Malfurion. Do not ask this of me. After everything we have endured. My love, you have always been the strength of our people. They will follow you ever onward, and you will never be alone. Then she's pretty fucking quickly on board. She's like, until I see you again, I will dream of the night we may truly rest together. Dare I look at the comments? 152 comments. So we get rid of Malfurion and get Ysera back. This is a wonderful trade. Okay, let me give my opinion on this. For me, I don't like it, but I dislike it for a reason that maybe isn't as common as other reasons that people dislike it. I don't want Ysera back. That's literally why I don't like it. The Malfurion thing is one thing, but it's not the most distasteful thing of it. It's not the thing I like the least about it. The thing I like the least about it is, I just don't want Ysera back, honestly. Because we've already had Ysera's big goodbye in Legion. We already had a genuinely emotional comeback for Ysera in Shadowlands. Like, Ysera coming back in Shadowlands was a genuinely emotional moment, honestly. Look, I'm gonna go fucking find it. Go. This cinematic is legit. I never did a cinematic analysis on this, but it's really good.
This is of my sister.
This is really good.
Why have you brought
and it's a very emotional return, and I like it very much.
Slipping away.
Our duty is grim.
And I never did a cinematic analysis of it, just because stuff was going on in my life and I couldn't. But it's brilliant. It's so good. I've watched it a lot of times. I love it.
Joy and peace that whispers of wonder.
It's the best cinematic in the
if she dies,
the first patch,
then
for sure.
all that is Emerald dies with her.
And don't forget, the build up to this was that incredible scene where you're taking her like seed pod in the procession through Ardenweald with the new Dreamer music. It was incredible. So good.
will be empty shells.
That whole like lead up to this cinematic and then this cinematic, so good. Like, who the fuck didn't cry as you were doing that procession? It's a great emotional moment for the Winter Queen. I love it. Fantastic cinematic. Favorite moment of the cinematic, by the way. It's fucking Moonberry. So good. Everything about it is brilliant. And we don't need another return, right? We don't need Ysera coming back again. That was her comeback. That was her rebirth. That was her return to the game. That was the big emotional moment. You telling me that it can be as good as that? If she comes back in Dragonflight? Of course it's not going to be as good as that. I just don't think this is going to happen. And certainly not in the way that people think it's going to happen. I don't think Ysera's coming back. I don't think Malfurion's disappearing. Or if he is, he's not disappearing from the game. Put it this way. If Malfurion goes into the fucking dream or something, or the Shadowlands or something, I think he will remain a main character throughout the rest of this game. What if Ysera wouldn't res and just needs someone to stay in Ardenweald while she's out? Sort of a placeholder? It sounds pretty permanent in this chat. I don't know, man. Who knows? Maybe it will happen. But, okay. Am I allowed to say this? I'm going to say it. I don't give a fuck about Malfurion. Sorry, but I don't. And, you know, he was really cool in that 8.2 cinematic, and I would rather that he doesn't disappear into the Shadowlands. I'd rather that they give him cool shit to do. I absolutely would rather that. I would rather them make him a character that I do like. This same King Rastakhan shit in BFA. Rastakhan was awesome in BFA. You might not think he was worth the build-up of waiting so long for him. I disagree. I think Rastakhan was very fucking cool in BFA. I thought he did some really good shit. He had a whole storyline throughout 8.0, which focused on him and which saw him making a big sacrifice in 8.1. I thought he was cool. I wish he'd been around longer. Maybe, definitely. But they certainly didn't do him dirty, I think. He got like loads of focus. I thought Rastakhan was super cool and was done well. I liked his arc in BFA. Personally, now you're allowed to disagree. That's absolutely fine. You're absolutely allowed your own opinion on this. You know, I'm not right just because I feel a certain way about a subjective work of art, you know, but that's how I feel. Malfurion, however, has never done anything at all. And that's a shame, isn't it? So for me, there's two reasons why this is bad. The first reason, though, is that we've already had Ysera's return. We don't need another one. It won't be as good. And it will cheapen the one in Shadowlands, which is legit and brilliant. And we don't need it. And the second reason is, who would I rather have in the game and living in Azeroth? Ysera or Malfurion? Well, Malfurion, just because we don't need a big return for Ysera anymore. Like, she's got her place in Shadowlands, and it's a cool place that we helped her establish. In my view, it kind of cheapens all the work we did to get her established in Ardenweald in Shadowlands, right? And that's the main reason I don't like it. The whole Blizzard hates Night Elf thing, you know, I roll my eyes a little bit at that because whatever. You know, Malfurion dying, I don't really give much of a shit about. But trading him for Ysera seems pointless on two different levels. One, because we don't really need Ysera back. You know? So that's what I don't like about it. And I'm certain there's a lot more to this than we think. This is like so out of context. And you know what? Even if it's not out of context and it's exactly what everyone thinks, the reason I dislike it is still because I just rather not get Ysera back, right? We need to go and speak to Ysera. We can go to the Shadowlands. It's easy. There's a portal. I need to talk to Ysera. I can do it. It's absolutely fine. It's no big deal. Really. It's fine. I can do, like, half my characters have got their fucking, like, Hearthstone set there right now. And everyone has got a little wormhole generator they can use to get there. It's fine. Honestly, Ysera, you're good where you are. It's absolutely fine. So, one, I've got a question. I have not played the Anaran Plains storyline. Is the return of Ysera and the need for Ysera to return built up in the Anaran Plains storyline? So far, no. So it's not in the leveling story. Dudes, this is not what it seems. I don't think it's happening like people think it is. I don't blame people for thinking that and taking this at face value. I don't blame anyone for doing that. I really don't. Like, whatever you can say about, you know, it's data mined from the alpha and stuff, and you should take that with a pinch of salt. That remains true. But that being said, I can't blame people for reacting strongly to this. No, I think it's unfair. People flipped out over the Sylvanas Arrow Datamined Dialogue, which turned out to be not what they flipped out over. Oh yeah, but they were obviously wrong at the time. Like, I remember the usual suspects flipping out about that Arrow dialogue when it was data mined. And I remember saying, like, the second I read it, I was like, well, that's talking about when she tried to shoot Arthas, right? Because everyone thought it was talking about the jailer. And I was like, no, she's telling the story of when she tried to shoot Arthas. And the usual suspects went, oh, yeah, she did shoot Arthas with an arrow, didn't she? So, yeah, I don't know, man. The fact that it's had, like, zero build-up in the Anaran Plains leveling story makes me think that I don't think this is how it's appearing in-game. I think, you know, there's definitely a lack of context here and a lack of build-up as well. And I'm not saying it won't appear in-game, but I suspect I think it's probably fair to say that we haven't got the whole story going on here. That there's going to be a bit more context. And, you know, we don't even know how this ends up either, to be honest. On the assumption that it is exactly how it seems, and that, yeah, they're literally swapping Malfurion for Ysera. For me, the biggest problem with that is that I don't think we need another big return for Ysera, because I think we got an amazing return for Ysera in Shadowlands. I don't think we need another one. I think Ysera's return in Shadowlands was banging. I think it was brilliant, and I just don't think we need another one.